top-end riders, as we know it, have top-end bikes. But nowadays, you can buy such good bikes off the shelf. It got me wondering, well, we're here at EWS Tweed Valley at the first round. So are pro bikes any different to our own? Right then, first on our list of super legit pro bikes is this one. This is Elliot Heap's nuke-proof Giga that he's going to be racing the main race on. And it's actually fairly stock, apart from obviously this very lovely custom paint job. All the parts on here are pretty much a stock build, what you could get either off the nuke-proof website or off the shelf in your local bike shop. There's no prototype parts, there's no angle sets or different linkages or anything like that. So it actually does just go to show, on our first one, you could be racing the same bike as Elliot, which is pretty mental. Right, we're back, sports fans. Vid Persak of the Orbea Factory Enduro team. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all good. How are you?
Nice. Yeah, good. Handy with a mic?
Oh, always. I couldn't wait to get to this place.
Right, dude. Differences. So I've got a Rallon.
Yeah.
But it looks a little bit different to this Rallon. I've noticed some very clever parts going on your bike. Walk us through. I've noticed a power meter potentially going on in there and a few other bits.
Yeah, we got a few tweaks, like suspension-wise, we got it tuned by the Fox, so
some cleverness in there.
So it's working better smooth, I guess.
I bet, okay.
And then a big change from the last year would be I downsized as well, with a smaller frame.
Interesting. So, because that's something, people, if they buy a bike off the shelf, they're not going to buy two bikes to find out which is the better size to them. But obviously, as a factory rider, you can kind of test them both, and you've downsized. Why was that?
Yeah, I just felt better with the small bike. We did a lot of timing and everything, so it proved to be faster. And I was also running the previous bike, the R5, in a smaller size, so I always kind of like the small bikes, and yeah.
Throw it around, but I noticed there's obviously quite a bit of seat post poking out there.
Yeah, it's 200, the Fox Transfer.
Wow, hang on. Whoa!
Yeah,
that's a big old seat post.
Yeah, it's a big, I'm a big lad guy, so.
Call you Daddy Longlegs. Power meter, crunching numbers, is it?
Oh yeah, I just used it for the training, so I like to collect the numbers and then just to get an idea what we work on and how we can improve stuff.
Right, and I did a bike check on your bike last year. Anything different in the old stash box in there? What have we got?
Old stash box is still empty, so I can. I offer for always for a light setup. You see, like it's a small disc 180.
Oh yes.
And
yeah, the small Galfers there.
Yeah, just
why is that?
Yeah, they have a lot of power, so I found I don't need a bigger disc for this one, especially not for this round. Maybe when we go back to Alps or to my place, I think we need the bigger ones, but not here.
Okay, and aluminium wheels, inserts?
Yeah, I switched from the carbon to aluminium this year because I think with the new frame, it was a bit stiff with the carbon wheels.
Cool.
So yeah.
All right, dude. Some clever bits going on there. I like it. Thank you very much for showing us your bike, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you, mate. See you around.
Right, I am joined by Craig Miller, mechanic to the Lapierre Zip Collective, I believe. Yes. We've got Isabeau Corduria's bike. Mate, look at this thing. It is stunning. Tell us, how is this different to a stock Spicy? Because they don't look stock.
So yeah, this is a bike for the start of the season. This was a bit of a surprise for her, actually. Full custom frame in the style that she likes. She's quite into the 80s, 90s.
I can see.
Yeah, we did this. Actually, I built it during the French Champs. She went out to do the stages, and while she was out on track, I got this thing together, and she came back mid-race, and there's her.
Wow, no way.
So yeah, that was really cool, just to get the reaction from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's effectively it is a stock frame.
Okay. So no extra smalls or anything, like, she obviously is quite a petite rider.
She's small. So yeah, just the only complication of that is we use the hydraulic reverb instead of the electric. It's got a slightly smaller insertion.
Okay.
And it's a bit easier to activate. She's only 50 kilos, so
yeah,
slightly easier in activation, and it's sort of like...
As in actually just body weight to drop it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the XS, you can drop the air pressure and it does a good job, but we're just going for every little advantage. I mean...
I've noticed there's some clever stuff going on, sort of wheels. So you've got a tyre whiz on both wheels, prototype Hutchinsons. What's going on there?
So yeah, obviously we are Lapierre Zip. We've worked with Zip for quite a few years now. Adrian Daly, our other rider, he was one of the first development riders for Zip. So we've done a lot of work with these guys, and the wheels are really interesting. They're, as opposed to being a double wall rim, they're a single wall. Right. so
Right.
they move a lot more. They pivot around the spokes,
Wow,
so you get
okay.
a lot more compliance. Here it's great over like roots and traction. The rim will move a lot more. So rather than being stiff and pinging out of corners, it'll just track the ground better.
Yep.
Izza, she's a development rider of Hutchinson, working on different casings and compounds for the tyres. So here we're going with the Toros. Just the tracks aren't that wet, but they just give you a bit extra clearance over the Griffiths. Casing wise, yeah, they're a decent supple tyre.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then are we black box? Did I see black box?
Black box is it's ran its cycle now. We're onto
Wow.
these forks and shocks are now production.
Okay.
You can now buy them, which is really nice. It's working its way out to the rest of the team because they're a good step forward.
Yeah.
The guys have done a really good job.
Perfect.
Especially the Zeb air spring, the way it works really nicely for Iz's weight. The way it sits in its travel is
Awesome.
It's a good step forward.
Okay, wow. Pretty clever things going on. And then just custom details. I see like the top cap going on here, even things like the custom mud guard and stuff like that. I mean, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, the main thing for a pro bike versus a normal person
Like an
bike
off-the-shelf.
is just the amount of time that we have to prepare it for a race. Like this bike, I was best part of 3 days putting it together, and it's all about the details.
Okay,
Looking at the
awesome.
bearings, prepping them, grips, wired, everything. How you doing?
You made the cut. You're in the film. You're in. Sorry, so you were saying like the amount of time that gets put into these bikes from a mechanic and a rider feedback point of view is
Yeah.
a lot.
And obviously the bike is the rider's livelihood, so you don't want any mistakes. We go through, we check everything, and then after that it's all the small details, even things like for Isbo's hands, where the grips line up, everything, just getting it in the right place, getting the brake bite point at the correct point.
Yeah, unbelievable. So that attention to detail is insane. Well, Craig, thank you for running us through this thing. Sort of off the shelf, but on the other end of the scale, completely not.
Yeah, pretty much. Off the shelf, but really well done.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. Right, Charlie Murray, specialised factory racing on this very snazzy S-Works, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very well, mate. Look, you can buy an S-Works off the shelf,
Yep,
but
you
this
can.
one ain't exactly stock, is it? There's some fanciness going on here.
Yeah, we've got a few tricks and tips up our sleeves.
All right, run us through it a bit. I mean, first up, I'm going to say it, bringing back bar ends.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, we're going back to the 80s. Nah, these things are awesome. So they're just like, when you're riding, you don't even notice. They don't stick out any more than your hand does. But it's something that's firm. So if you hit a tree, instead of, getting your soft fingers.
And we
that's
are
what
in Scotland, don't we?
takes the
So-
brunt of the force. We're in Scotland, there's trees everywhere.
There's trees everywhere.
So they save your fingers, basically.
And basically, like, I want to know what is on this bike that a punter couldn't buy off the shelf. I'm seeing prototype tyres, I think.
Yep.
So what can you talk about that? Just a little bit.
Yeah, well, you've probably seen the new tyres that Specialized have been releasing.
How? Yes.
So just constant development and just different tread patterns, different compounds, things like
Okay.
that. This is very similar to what you can buy off the shelf, but we've just adjusted the tread pattern slightly.
Okay.
And this is a step towards what the new tyre will be when it comes out in a year or two.
So it's like pre-production almost.
Yeah.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I mean that is actually quite a running theme amongst a lot of pro bikes. Is the tyres actually on them are not stock tyres, be it compound, tread pattern, stuff like that. So you guys are essentially test mules
Yeah, exactly.
for us mere mortals. And I've got to bring it up.
Yep.
You can't quite see it on that camera, but we'll get, let's spin this around, Charlie.
Yeah, sure.
I have noticed, now the flight attendant's been out.
Yep.
It's released, you can buy that, but this is on a coil.
Yeah, well, good sporting actually. Yeah.
This
I
is.
don't know how you noticed.
Yeah, well, the battery on the
Yeah.
side of a coil
Oh,
shop
right,
was,
okay.
was the one.
Yeah, I mean, so that there is, obviously it's the new coil
Yeah.
from RockShox, and it's got the hydraulic bottom out.
And so that just automatically knows when to firm it up, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, the electric thing, that's, doing a flight attendant sort of job.
Yeah.
But this is a black box, so it's obviously, it's
Even
still,
more trickery.
Yeah, it's still something that we can race as racers.
Yeah, but this is not publicly available, obviously.
No, it's not.
And you were saying yourself and one other had it. Who else is riding this?
I
Come on. He's not going to tell me.
think someone on a trek, maybe a downhill,
Oh, okay.
a downhill bike is running it, but I'm not sure.
Oh, on a downhill bike.
Yeah, well, in downhill, if you
Yeah, with the pedaling.
if you want to stiffen up the rear end,
Yeah, okay.
it's easier than reaching down for a switch. It does it automatically.
Very true, very true. Custom, you got any sort of custom levers or anything like that going on, or setup? What are we talking? Or is it all fairly stock up front?
It's pretty stock. I mean, I've gone for the 740 bar width just because we're in Scotland. I've actually been running 750 at home just because I couldn't be bothered putting new bars on, and it feels mint. So
I'm noticing big rotors, 220s?
220 front and rear.
Cool. That's a lot of power.
I just have come to the conclusion that you may as well have the brakes as good as you can.
Do you know, I think the same, dude. Yeah, like, if you can have power, why not have a bit more power?
Yeah.
Like, have more stopping ability.
Exactly.
Great minds. Wheels? What have we got going on here? Anything?
So at the moment we've got the carbon wheel, which is what I've been trading on in NZ, and I really like it. But here we're actually going to go for the alloy, just a bit more damp.
Okay, so that flexibility in them.
Yeah, and there's like,
Compliance.
it's so tight here and there's always an awkward route in the way. So I just want a bit more compliance.
Nice, man. All right, well, thank you very much for running us through your bike. There is definitely some trickery on here that is not available in the shops, and I really like to see that. All the best for the weekend.
Thank you. Yeah, awesome.
And we'll see you then. Cheers. Noga Karem of oh wow!
Already fucked.
I wasn't expecting that.
Wiki. Okay.
You're right there.
Okay, yeah.
It's only Thursday and you've gone mad.
I just got excited.
You did.
I
Noga
had coffee before.
Karem. Yeah, too much. GT Factory Racing. How's it going?
Good, thank you.
Excellent. Right. We're comparing pro bikes to off-the-shelf bikes. Now, this is obviously super legit. Very nice paint job I can see already.
Right? Pretty. I love it.
Yeah, okay. But there is something that stands out. And it's silver.
I thought you mean the fork, which is orange.
No, I'm not colourblind.
Oh, okay.
No, this sort of prototype linkage going on here.
I didn't notice it.
No?
What is it?
Funny that none of you pros do notice your
What?
like special link. So what can you tell us what's going on with
Maybe
it?
I'll call my mechanic. Maybe you can explain better.
Tight-lipped. Can you tell me much about it? Come on.
So it's something new that
Okay.
I'm not allowed to say, sorry.
Right.
We're trying it. If it's good, I promise I'll let you know.
Okay.
Well, I think it's pretty good, but we'll see at
Can
the
I
race.
make some guesses?
You can try, but I'll yeah,
You're not
you
going
can
to tell
try.
me either way, are you?
You can try, you can try. Matt!
Smaller wheel on the back, so something to do with mullet, and I'm going to go something to do with leverage ratios as well.
I don't know.
Because you are, I think we're safe to say, a smaller rider.
What?
So I
Me?
hate to break it to you. Just, so maybe it's that party at the back kind of feel going on.
Yeah.
Leverage ratio, travel.
Maybe yes, maybe not.
Unbelievable.
Well, to be honest, I don't even know.
Either way,
I will call my mechanic. Matteo!
either way, you can't buy this off the shelf, obviously. So that does set it apart from its stock counterpart. And you were telling me earlier, actually, this is normally a 170 up front, but you've dropped it to a 160.
Yes, true. I just feel more in control with a little bit smaller.
Like less travel at the
Yeah,
front.
less travel.
Because it drops the front, I guess, a touch.
Yeah, I feel just like more grip in the front.
And
in a way.
you've tried obviously the 170 as well. So you've tried both versions, and you've got, and it's obviously a 36, not a 38.
Yeah, also I feel like the 38 is a bit too stiff for me.
Okay.
So yeah, I just like better the 36. But it's actually interesting because Katie liked better the 170.
And you guys are about the same height actually as well,
Yeah,
aren't you? Yeah. Well, that does. It may be not something. It's obviously different on the bike, but what is setting this apart from a standard bike is that you do have the ability to try different forks and different shocks and experiment with what feels better. Whereas a punter like me, is just going to buy the stock bike off the shelf with a 170 on, and maybe not realise that actually a 160 works better.
Yeah, so I
themselves.
didn't, in the beginning I didn't realize as well, and I felt like I go too much to the back, and I feel like I struggle to have grip in the fork.
Okay.
In the front.
Like just to get the weight over the front.
Yeah, exactly. I felt like I'm riding a Harley a little bit.
Whoa. Popping
So
wheelies.
then actually Martin suggested to go to 160, and so thanks Martin. Yeah, and it worked. It worked better. Felt
Okay.
more comfortable.
Wheels, tires. We got anything crazy going on there, or is it?
So actually, I think we have like the best grippy tires. So we ride the Michelin. Did I pronounce it
Yeah.
wrong? It's Michelin.
Well,
French
I
is
mean, I'm
Michelin.
no French, so
yeah.
it's
Okay,
Michelin.
me too. Okay, Michelin.
Yeah.
Wild Enduro front, which has like super nice grip.
Okay.
I tried the Wild Enduro rear at the back,
Yeah.
which is faster rolling, but it doesn't brake as good as this. So I decided to go for
And are
full grip.
these normal compounds. There's
Yes,
no
they
like
are.
super
You
tacky.
can buy it. You can buy it in the.
So actually, apart from this linkage,
Yeah.
this is a fairly off-the-shelf kind. I mean, obviously the paint job is.
We have this genius tool,
Yeah.
the One Up, which is.
Yeah,
it,
but I
it
mean-
saved me a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that's cool. But you can almost buy this bike. I could buy Noga Chrome's bike.
Yeah, you can buy it.
Oh, no.
How much would you pay?
I mean, I've got like 30 quid spare on me.
That's too cheap.
Well, sorry. I'll come back when I've
I
saved
mean,
up.
this color is sick, I think.
It is cool. All right, Noga, thank you very much for running us through your bike. It is quite the looker. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on track, yeah?
Thank you very much. See you.
Ciao.
Ciao. Wiki wiki.
Right then, I have swung by the Cannondale tent because I've noticed Mitch Roppolato's bike here looking rather special. So come on down here and you can see there's a different linkage on it. Now he's pretty tight-lipped. He's not telling me much on this one, I can tell you that. So I'm gonna have to put in a little bit of guesswork, but it's a different linkage on there and I've noticed a smaller wheel out back. So I'm guessing it's to make it a mullet. What it does to the travel, I don't know. We might have to find out a little bit later on in the year when he wants to sort of pry some more information out of him. But that definitely ain't stock. So it's quite cool to see some special parts going on over here at Cannondale to change their bikes up for the riders. Yeah. Greg Callahan, your Da Vinci Spartan I've noticed here is looking fairly stock, but I think my keen eye spotted a few trick bits. How is this different to the off-the-shelf version? How's your pro bike different to the average Joe bike?
Yeah, so I've changed this quite a bit. Da Vinci have been really good and they've let me kind of experiment and play around because I think the stages that we race for EWS are quite different demands compared to what you would ride day to day.
Okay.
So I've kind of adjusted for that. Like my takeaway from last season was a lot of the race time that you could make or lose was cornering.
Yeah.
So I've changed this quite a bit. I'm running it mullet, as you can see.
And that's normally full 29, isn't it? That. So
Yeah.
have you done anything with the linkage here, or how does that work to change it?
So I put it at the high setting. We have a flip chip on the bottom bracket, so I put that in the high setting. I'm running 165 cranks just to, kind of have a bit more pedal clearance. Well, I was kind of toying with running them anyway. But then towards the front as well, I've got a +1 angle set to make it a degree steeper, and then I'm running a 51 offset in the fork, so a longer offset.
So I'm guessing that's because obviously the smaller wheel at the back end's dropped the back down. So without being a real slack headset, that's why you've gone for that +1 angle set up front.
Yeah, exactly. And I was actually running that same front end setup with the 29 at the end of last year, just to kind of get the steering a bit sharp and a bit more responsive.
Standard wheels and tyres. I mean, do I see a test pilot sign down there as well?
Yeah, you do. It's just a little bit of a wider tyre.
Okay.
But yeah, most of the parts are pretty standard on the bike now, apart from that.
Okay, so I mean, basically what sets your bike out from the standard was your ability to have the team's backing to tweak the heck out of it and get it exactly how you like it, which, let's face it, most of us probably wouldn't do if we bought it off the shelf.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. And I'm really glad they've let me do that. And I've been kind of bouncing between the stock one and this, and like the stock one's real nice to ride. But I think when it's racing, for me, it's about just getting it around those tight corners. And, I feel like I can make a twitchy bike go fast in a straight line, but it's harder to get the planted bike around the tight, awkward stuff that we tend to race a lot.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you very much for quickly running us through the differences. Much appreciated. Well, there we go then. We have taken a look at a ton of different pro bikes, and actually it turns out it's a fairly even split that, yes, some are very, very different to stock bikes, but otherwise, a lot of them are very similar as well. A lot of them are just stock parts and stock frames you can get off the shelf. Me or you could have some pretty fancy bikes, and, well, they are out there to be had. On the other hand, it was good to see that actually what really made a pro bike was the level of sort of R&D and commitment to setup that went into that bike just to eke out all those little millimeters that they could. So, is a pro bike vastly different from yours or mine? Well, yes and no. But anyway, if you liked this content, don't forget, give it a little like. Why not share it? Give us a little comment down below. I do like to hear from you. But for me, from EWS Tweed Valley, for now, we're out of here. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you later.